Okay, let's look at the last type of example that we're likely to see in Chemistry 30, which is different sorts of acid and base reactions, neutralizations especially, such as this question here. Now, this question here says a solution of sodium hydroxide, which we should know is a very strong base because hydroxide is very basic, it's a basic ion. It reacts with sulfuric acid, right? And so the trick to these questions is we have to be comfortable with the naming rules of acids and bases. So, before we continue with this question, let's take a look at what it says down here. Pause and review. Do we know how to name or write formulas for acids and bases? And let's review how to do this over here on the right. This will be a separate little mini lesson now. So, let's start with acids. Just the basics of naming them. We know that acids give off hydrogen ions in solution in water. That's what makes them acidic. And the way we name them is quite simple. If we have an element, or I guess an ion ending in "ide," so something "ide," this translates to the name of hydro, and then the name ic acid. See? If our ion ends with the "ite" ending, so the name of the element and then "ite," we use the name and "-os," acid. And lastly, if our acid ends with the descriptor of 8, we go with the name of the element and then ic acid. The way that I always remembered that when I was a student is you can eat something icky, right? And then the other way I remembered the other one was pretty simple. Think of the acid in your stomach. It's hydrochloric, right? Hydrochloric acid. Oops, gotta erase that. So that's pretty obvious, and the name hydrochloric acid should be pretty simple, that it comes from the word chloride, right? Which is just an ion of chlorine. So that'd be a chloride ion, hydrochloric acid, right? That's HCl. So we could try another one just for fun. Ite. Let's do sulfite. Comes from sulfur. This is the sulfite ion, SO2 minus, or SO, let's see, what was it again? The sulfite ion. Where is it? There it is, SO3 minus 2. So there's the sulfite ion. So H2SO3, that turns to sulfurous acid. See? Pretty simple. And lastly, let's say we're going to do, I don't know, nitrate. Nitrate's a pretty common one. We know that one from a few examples, NO3. Well, nitrate is going to turn to nitric acid, right? Quite simple. So that's how we name acids. Bases are also very simple. They basically follow the naming rules for ionic compounds, right? So for bases, use ionic compound rules. Perfect.